Hi, this is Lee Solden. This is going to be Norwegian 7. I'm going to help you learn some Norwegian, um, starting at the 19-minute mark on the 20-minute version of Norwegian listening practice by Norwegian Pod 101. Okay, nothing I'm associated with. I'm just helping you teach, help you learn an audiobook. That's found on YouTube. Okay. Um, So lesson starts again, 19 minutes on that video. Um, says, ja, de vita skjorte selger bra. Yes, the white shirt sells well. Okay. Yeah, yes, they, the, it's D-E-T, T is silent. Vita, white, shirt, it's, it is, uh, neuter, so you have ET on the end of there. Okay. Selger from sell, sells, bra, well. Bra, be good or well. Bra is a adjective is invariable. Okay. One of the exceptions I'll talk about later on at the end of this video. There are a handful of adjectives that simply never get an E added or a T added. Bra is one of them. Okay. You, what might confuse you here for a second is it says Vita with an E on the end because Vit, HVIT is white, but they're adding an E. But the skirt is neuter, and there's an ET on the end of it to show that the skirt. That's a the skirt. It's definitive. That definite case. Sorry, definite case, which means it's definitive as to which skirt we're talking about. Okay, not just any old skirt, but the white one. The white one is selling well. Okay. But I just went over that lecture. One of the things on that lecture says that if you have a definite noun and the adjective comes before that noun, then it has to be an E on the end, not a T. It doesn't matter if it's neuter or not. It has to be an E there for that case. Okay. Um, Any place else, if you find a neuter noun at the after, excuse me, a neuter noun and the adjective is after, those are going to be T's. If this was an indefinite case here, again, it would be a T for the neuter. But there's one case where it's not a T for neuter. That is, if it's before the noun, the adjective is before the noun, and the noun is definite case. In other words, there's a the in front of it, or maybe there's a possessive with it, or a that or this with it. They all make all those things make it definite. Let's go on to the next sentence. And that was 19 minutes. Sentence 4, start in the middle of the story. Did the first few sentences on Norwegian 6. Okay. Um, oh, okay. I'll selge, to sell. Selger is present tense. Solgte is salgte, I should say. Sold. Har sold. Har sold. Villa selge. Okay. And that's irregular because you got a vowel change in the past tense to salgte. Okay. Notice the SKJ is the harder SH. Okay. KJ would be the softer one. Okay. That. So sentence 5 is 1902. De blå are lit dirt. So the blue is a little expensive. Okay. De, it's D-E-T. T's not pronounced. The blah. And we're talking about a skirt here. So it is neuter. So they're using de to refer to the skirt from the previous sentence. Blah. Okay. Um, blah, you would think would get an E here because it says the blue. Well, normally would, but there's another exception. A lot of times when you have a adjective that ends with a vowel such as blah, you don't put that E that normally belong there. And we'll go over those later on at the end of this uh, video here. Okay, so the blue are, then lit means a little, has nothing to do with the word little otherwise. It's a phrase, a little, dirt, expensive. Okay, and um, one second. Now, we have an adjective here, dear, which means expensive. There's a T on the end of it. It says, de blah are lit deer. There's a T on the end. Well, we're describing a skirt, which is neuter, and here we're talking about a singular, neuter noun being described by an adjective that is coming after the noun, end of the sentence, right? So, well, yeah, you got to put a T there. You always put a T there, except for the one case where, again, if the adjective is before the noun and it is definite case, then you would put an E instead. Okay, otherwise you put a T for neuter singulars. Okay, and enough of that sentence. Word by word again. De, the, blah, blue, are, is, lit, a little, dirt. Expensive. Next sentence. Sentence 6, 1904. Says, well, yeah, well, yes, men, but, they, it, passer, fits, die, you. Okay. So passer is to fit or to suit. See, and I'm not going to cover that sentence any further. Um, Placer is a normal group one verb. Um, I have a note here, DEG, pronounced die. Sentence 7 at 1907. Jeg har ikke råd til dem begge. Okay. Har råd till, that phrase means afford. Okay. The individual words are, have, ikke, not, rod, you could think of means, till, for. Okay, I don't have means for. That is not exactly what rod means. Okay. Um, I'm not sure if rod means anything So I don't have a particular meaning for it, but you see it in the phrase "our rod till can't afford." Okay. Um. Okay. We're gonna go on to the next sentence. I'll say it word for word first, though. Okay. Yai, I, her, have, not, ika, rod, means, till, for, dem, them, bega, both. Next sentence. 1910. I köper de vita. I am buying the white. Okay. And okay. I am buying the white. Um, okay. I honestly don't know why they're using that particular form of vit. Um, they're describing they're describing that skirt still. Um, the form is would seem to be for the definite. Um, I guess. Hmm. Okay, 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 okay. I have this written down right in front of me. So I'll just scroll down about 2 seconds later. Okay, so they're saying I am buying the white. The word skirt is implied to come after it. She means I am buying the white skirt. Okay. So therefore they treat this as if the vitta here comes before skirt, even though the word skirt's not there in front of you. Okay. Therefore, you got to treat it as a definite noun and the uh, adjective coming before the noun, even though it's not actually there, but it's implied. So you got to use the definite form vitta with the E at the end. Okay. And if I just scroll down another second, I don't have had a okay. So okay. Ah, okay. I was gonna write that down. I never did write it down. That's why I don't see it. Okay. One last sentence for the story. He just says, Uka tusen tak. Okay, thousand thanks. Okay. Um, okay, I'm gonna pause and go over to story 19. Okay, story 19 starts at 1950. The first sentence is nothing new, and man, and kvin, snak here. A man and a woman are talking. Um, Next sentence. So, sentence two at 1952. Okay. So, vår manga personer totalt kommer på festen. Okay. So, we're how many people in total are coming to the party? Vår, how, manga, many. Again, this is the word for how when you're in such phrases, how many, but not when you're saying how do you do something. It's a different word. Okay, manga, many, persona, people, as persons, one person, and plural, they just put an er on the end. Totalt in means in total, and that is an adverb. Okay, so you take the total is an adjective. They make their adverb by adding a t. And then once it's an adverb, it's in variable. So we got you're not describing a noun, you're describing an action. So all that stuff about what gender the noun is, or is it plural, or doesn't matter. Is this is an adverb describing a noun? No, excuse me, an adverb describing a verb. So totalt will stay in variable, but again, it does come from the neuter, singular, indefinite case of the adjective total in this case, in that language. Okay. Kommer festen. Come to the party. Fest is party, festen, the party. How many people in total are coming to the party? Um, okay, enough of that sentence. Okay, sentence 3, 1957. Okay, the conversation starts out. Festen finner stay I morgen. Okay, the party is taking place tomorrow. Well, they don't say that it's taking place, they say it's finding place. So finner means to find, finna, to find, finner finds. Okay. Festen, the party, finds place, finner stay, SSTED place. Of course, we have the word stead means place in English too, right? Instead, in place of, instead of, in place of. Tomorrow, I morgen. Um, okay. I mentioned the word morning is going to vary by region, how they pronounce it. Go from anywhere from sounding like German morgen to morn or morn. Okay. Let's see here. Um, Conjugate finna to find. Finner for present. Fin for command. Font goes irregular for past tense. Font. Funit, another vowel change for the past participle. Hada funit, villa finit, would find. Okay, next sentence. 1958, sentence 4. Vane, who, Homer, comes, paw, to, festen, the party. We've covered Homer before, so skip to the next. This only new word there really for you. Vem, V-E-M. Sentence 5 at 2001. Two of us, two venner, two friends. Then is one friend. We've covered that before. Add ER for plural. Um, and obviously, it's not a neuter noun because it would just be then, right? Single syllable. Then it's common. Okay. Okay. Two of says two venner of my, so two friends of my, and then and Laren, the teacher. Okay. I'm not going to go further with that sentence. De blir fem. That makes 5. Um, Fem, how you say 5. They, that. D-E-T, T is silent. Blir, that's all bleh, which means become, right? So you think you can say, well, that becomes 5. Okay. But um, it can also mean is. That is 5. Blah has several definitions. So I think I've mentioned a few of them so far. When you when you add may to it, it becomes come with. I've already said it means remain, it can also mean become, and it can mean is. That's why I mentioned it's good to compare it with the German verb werden, which can mean become or is in that language in German. So, along with bleiben, to be, and excuse me, bleiben, to remain, also is good comparative uh, for this bleh. So again, here it just means is. That is 5. And bleh can mean to be. And set 7 at 2006. Ah, well, he says, Laren Homer May Kona see. Okay. The teacher comes with May, M-E-D, the D being silent. Kona means wife. See, his. So it's his own wife, obviously, right? Um, okay. It's not talking about somebody else. Okay. It's not like, oh, Bob broke up with his wife, and now this guy's the teacher's coming with Bob's wife. He's coming with his wife, Bob's. No, it's his own, because if it wasn't his own, they would have to use Hans here for his. Okay. Notice the teacher is coming with his wife. The wife is not a direct object. That's okay. It's an indirect object. Okay. The teacher's not like carrying the wife or moving the wife over from one spot to another or looking at the wife. The wife's not an object, but it's an indirect object. That means it's a reference of where the action's happening, right? The the teacher is coming with his wife. So she is called as the indirect object there, right? So as long as you're not the subject of the sentence, you can use see or sin or sit or sina as long as it's not the subject. It can be used for either a direct or indirect object. Okay, so enough for that sentence. Wife is Kona, Kona, Kone, uh, but, and it's either feminine or common, whichever way you want to treat it. If you treat it as feminine, then to say the wife, you have to change the E to an A to Kona. Okay. And now you're not putting the word the in there, you're just making it a definite noun. Why do you have to make it a definite noun? Because you said his wife. Not just any old wife, it's his wife, and the specific wife. And so you call that the definite case, not indefinite. Indefinite is like a wife. Whose wife? Just a wife, some a wife out of the millions of wives in the world. A wife, one, not any specific wife. That's indefinite. But when you specify either by my or that wife or this wife or the wife, all those make it definite case. Okay. Um, and next sentence, Muka. That's it for that story. I'm going to pause and go to story 20. Okay, story 20, the last one in the series. P.S. I'm going to be, after I do this 20 stories, I'm going to redo the 20 stories. The second time I go through them, I won't be talking about grammar. It'll just be very rapidly saying in the Norwegian and then the English, saying the Norwegian and the English. It's for someone to loop and kind of forget it's there, let stuff soak in. Um, so you'll have a choice whether you want to use that or the grammar, and if you don't know the grammar, you need to learn it. So that's what this series is for. And the second series will be for reinforcement, just loop it and reinforce vocabulary. Okay, story 2046. And Kavina, Shukta, and sang. So a woman buys, so it says bought, Shukta is past tense, and a sang, bed. Okay, um, we've covered that verb before, so we'll move on to the next sentence. Vor kommer hun till a sette den. Okay, a sette means to put. Okay, and I've covered that verb before, so okay, word by word. Vor, where, Homer comes, whom, she, till, to, a, infinitive marker, seta, put, den, it. And that should be good enough for that sentence. Okay, I think so. He says, "Denna senga our store." So that's this bed is big. Okay, and you might have not guessed that they're treating the bed as a feminine noun. Okay, and they're using a definite form because they put this in front of it. That's a demonstrative. Um, you have a demonstrative. You gotta use the definite form, and okay, store big, um, and there's nothing at the end of store because it's after the noun. The noun is senga, and then the bed is big. It's coming at the end of the sentence after the noun. And the rule is that you only put the e down in one case. For a definite noun, uh, for uh, for the common noun, and it's definite. Only one time we'll get an e. That is if it is before the noun, okay, and it has to be definite case. You get an E there. You will not get an E for definite if it's, um, excuse me, you won't get a, yeah, if it's definite but neuter, okay, it's not, it won't be an E there. If it's, matter of fact, it'll be okay, I'll pause a second. Flustered a bit here. Okay. Okay. Got myself straight here. What I was trying to say. Okay, this is uh, the bed here is a common singular noun. It will only get an E in one case. It has to be definite and the adjective must come before the noun. Now, in this case, it is definite, but the adjective comes after the noun, so there's no E goes there. Okay. Um, And on to the next sentence. Sentence 5. Excuse me. Sentence 4 at 2054. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Ja, jag kan icke sätta den vid dörren. Yes, I cannot set it by the door. Word for word. Yeah, yes, I can, icke, not, sätta, put, den, it, they, that's VED with a silent D, by the door, dura. Okay, a dur is a door. But they're treating this as feminine. They put an A, so the door. Okay, and that's enough for that sentence. Okay, sentence 5. Laos sätter den vid änden av Roma. ROMMET, Roma. ET on the end for the room. Okay, Laos, let us, sätta, put, den, it, they, by, enden, the end of the room, Roma, Roma. And when you add an ET for that the, you don't pronounce the T. Okay. Next. Okay. Okay. Pronunciation note. I mispronounced. You don't pronounce. He does not pronounce the D or the T. And I said mitten. It's mitten, 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 mitten. The middle. Okay. Okay. Some of the 21-minute mark. We'll put this. Do this word by word. Skal, shall, we, sätta, put, den, it, in the middle, mitten, okay, mitten, mitten. So there's a DT there in the middle of that. You don't pronounce it. Okay. And next sentence. Okay. Sentence 7 at 2102. He says, Nai, no, Laos, let us, seta, put, den, it, in, urna, the corner. So, okay. So, urna is a corner. And obviously it's neuter because of ET on the end of it. But there's already an E there, so you just had to add the T from urna to from urna to still urna. Okay, not going to change the pronunciation at all, adding that T. Okay, so he said let's set it in the end of the room at the corner. Okay, Um, Next. Okay. So 2105, sentence 8. Uka, Hurris Braut. Sounds good. And again, so you got that ahura to listen changes to sounds when you add the ut ending. So sounds good. Kan kan to hjälpa mig lufta den. Okay. Can, do, you, hjälpa, help me, my, lufta, to lift it, den. Okay. And so the word hjälpa is easy to read because there's an H there, starts with an H, but it's silent. I mean, well, HJ is still a J. So you call it silent, and it's a consonant combination that sounds like a J. So anyway, reading it, it looks like help, HJELP, and an E, or yelpa. But when you say it, yelpa, well, okay, a little help. Well, if so, here's someone yelping, they're not going to yelp. They probably need help, right? Someone screaming, yelping, probably need help. Best I can, a little memory hit there. Anyway, I'll yelp to help. Yelp here, yelp um, for the command form, yelp for the past tense, it's irregular. Har yulpit changes again, goes to you this time for the past participle, how to yulpit, and villa yelpa or villa yulpit. Remember again that you got choice whether to use the infinitive or the past participle for the would form. Okay. And also conjugate lufta to lift. So I'll lufta to lift. Um, lufter, luft, command form. Luft it, how to luft it, villa lufta. Okay. It's a fully regular group 1 verb. Follows the guide, both for CCE, and it ends with T, which a T before the E. And if you have a T, a G, or a D before the E, that would probably make it group 1 also. So it does both. We have passive construction here. Just note, I've covered that before. Okay. Covered that, covered that. Okay. And that is the end of teaching these 20 stories. However, I got a lecture to give you on exceptions. Also, another approach to the telling you how the adjectives go. Okay. Or two. So the rest of this is going to be lectures. If you're not interested in hearing all the lectures, if you're good on adjectives, um, if you maybe you already know the exceptions, you can just go back to the beginning of this video and play it again. But otherwise, continue listening for this lecture. Um, okay, here we go. So first, another approach to the adjectives, separating things by whether the noun is common or neuter. First, again, if plural, stop thinking and add that E to the adjective. That's all there is to it if it's plural. And then what do you got? You got singular common nouns and singular neuter. Okay. So again, this approach here, we're going to separate by common and neuter. Okay, for singular common nouns, the only time an E is added is if both the adjective comes before the noun and the noun is definite. So before the noun, then add that E if definite, but add nothing at all if indefinite. And after the noun, nothing is ever added. For singular neuter nouns, it's exactly like for the singular common nouns, except that something is always added. If not an E, then a T is added. Okay? So where we had nothing added before, it can be T's. So listen to this. It'll sound just like the earlier paragraph. For singular neuter nouns, the only time an E is added is if both the adjective comes before the noun and the noun is definite. So before the noun, then add that E if definite, but add T if indefinite. And after the noun, T is always added. Okay. Um, and then I have a lecture on exceptions for adjectives. And I got a link here. You go, again, you got to get to Norwegian 1. Look at my write ups. You can find this link. This is lingu.no, where I got this from. It was what I used. I could have other sites, but chose to use this one for a link. If you want to go there, read a little bit more than I'm about to cover here. Not much. They give you a few more adjectives that are exceptions, for instance. See, on that link, there are 2 pages. You need to click the read part 2 here to get to the second page. Okay, let's start with bra. Good. Bra is invariable. In other words, it never changes. It never gets an E nor a T ever added to it. It always just stays bar, bra, B-R-A, bra. Okay. Reminder, all adverbs are also invariable and are usually created by using the neuter singular indefinite form of the associated adjective. Okay, while called adverbs, by the way, adverbs can modify pretty much anything other than nouns. So it's modifying a noun, it's a adjective, but okay. Um, Otherwise, whatever else you're modifying, it's going to be an adverb. Okay. Back to the adjectives. Some other adjectives that are invariable, along with bra, are moderna, modern, gratis, free, and fellas, which means common. Next, you have adjectives that never get an E added. Now, they may still get their T's added, right? But not the E's. And these are the ones that have a vowel at the end of them. Okay. So when do you add E's? Well, you add E's a lot of times if something's definite. Sometimes you add E's because it's plural. But if you're told to add an E, you do not for these exceptions. Okay. We already looked at blah, blue, um, and then gras, gray, rosa, pink also do not get an E added when otherwise you're told to or would normally. Okay, next you have certain endings where instead of adding an E, you change the ending, which actually results in the E coming last. Those are ER, EL, and EN. In each case, when adding an E, quote unquote, just switch the endings around to RE, LE, and NE. Slow it down a little bit. So you have an adjective ends ER. You're told add an E to it, by the rules. Well, you don't actually add an E to it. You make it end up having E at the end, but start out ER, you change it to RE. You switch the two letters around. And you do the same switching for an EL and an EN. Next, some adjectives get a double T added instead of the usual single T. That includes fri, which means free, goes to frit, free to frit. New, or ny, new, trying to do it right. Okay. Means new, goes to newt. Graw goes to grot, with two T's in each case here. So frit is Fritt, newt, Nytt, grot is GRA circle TT, and blot, BLA circle TT, from blah to blot. You add two T's instead of just one. Okay, next. Generally, but not always, depending on dialects and whatnot, words ending in IG or a T, along with nationality words, do not get a T added when normally called for. This is kind of two different rules all in the same sentence. Three different rules all in the same sentence, right? Okay. Next and last, if the adjective ends with a double consonant, two of the same consonant, not two different ones, but two of the same, one is dropped when adding a T. Okay. Hope to see you all again soon, but I work with 19 different languages, so it might be a while before I do additional stories from the 2-hour audiobook for Norwegian, although I am redoing these 20 stories with a briefer, just word by word translations. Okay, but going to story number 21, etc., it might be a while because I'm doing French next, and then probably either Finnish or Filipino next after that. Eventually, I'll get around to doing more Norwegian, okay? But I think you got a good start on the grammar for Norwegian. A couple things I didn't cover. I didn't cover, like, for instance, newen, how that means some, but it's going to vary depending on whether it's well, there's several different factors. I didn't get into that. Felt I could leave that for the next series. Okay, so you might want to look up the word newen, Noen, and read up on it. I think other than that, I covered all the basic stuff that you need to know on the grammar for Norwegian. Um, okay. Um, okay. Reminder, in the first in this series, Norwegian 1, I go over my system quickly, starting at the 618 mark on that video. So if you want to listen to how my system all goes. Okay, if you like this sort of thing, please remember to hit the like button. Um, think about subscribing if you like languages. I cover a bunch of them, but like I say, 19 different languages, 20 really, because I do teach English a lot. So I should say I teach 20 languages, including English. And also, uh, again, if you don't know how, go to my uh, um, channel page by clicking on the logo. With my logo is like a pinkish circle with an A. You click on that, goes to my channel page. You click videos, and all the videos are there. There's a couple hundred of them. Go through them and see if there's something that will interest you. They're all about languages. One is about how to make a video. Okay, what I'm doing right now, the how to on that. Okay, and I make most of them, but my partner on the channel has made a few, and Another guy helped us out making one for Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese. Maybe you're interested in that. If you want to hear a native speaker, then I got my partner did help people learning West Flanders accent and Dutch by doing a video. Um, I've had several people learn Dutch through that. Um, just a bunch of languages on there. Take a look, see what's there. And everybody have a great day. Bye bye.